All right, y'all. We are live. Let me know if you can hear the audio. If you can, give me a good old-fashioned Sunday morning. Amen, brother. Cool. Glad that the audio is good. Blessings to everybody in the name of Yeshua the Messiah, Jesus the Messiah. Hope all you had a great, if you're American, had a good holiday, friends and family, all that good stuff. There's so much to be thankful for. So, pretty much, guys, I took some time off of the charts over the weekend, I guess you could say. Friday, Saturday, I didn't really trade much at all, really. And then this morning, I just was coming back, and I wanted to, I guess, just take a step back and look at things from a more macro perspective, and kind of just go over my overall plans and what I think. Long story short, we're obviously at very strong support, and we need to be prepared for losing support. Basically, is why I want to do this stream. Because I think there's probably two scenarios that are very likely to happen, and I want to go over both of them today. Because, for me, a lot of you know, if you've been following me, I have been building a long positions here, right? Basically, between 50K and 55K, building long positions, actually adding to a long position I was in from around 40K. Expecting this to be a higher low. But I do want to talk about more potential downside. We're going to talk about supports, we're going to talk about resistances, and we're also going to talk about the scenario that, in fact, the bottom is in. So, shout out to Luke2128. Shout out to Daddy Turtle. Shout out to Paul Esser, Rob McLaurin, Sandra Smith, Cyrus Crypto. Shout out to J-Boy Bullish, holding it down as a mod in the YouTube chat. Guys, if we do have questions during the stream, we can ask them in the questions during stream channel here. Now, my man Boyan is going to be holding down the questions, but I will also be in here answering questions as well. So let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Spartan Wrestler. You know what's funny? Spartan Wrestler, Boyan, Spartan Wrestler, myself, we're all weightlifters. So we're all heading down that same road to be cool, my man. If you want to be cool, you got to lift some heavy weights. Alright, let's get into it, guys. Alright, well, okay, here we are on the Bitcoin charts, and I want to go over, I guess, 2 or 3 possible scenarios. Many of you know that I have been long from around here, and I've been saying for the past, since we came down to like the 55K area, I'm adding to, longs until we come down to like right around here, this previous high, right? And I just want to talk about how important the support is that we're at right now. And then I want to talk about a possibility of more downside. Because if we start to lose this level, I will get out of my long positions and wait for lower. Right now, if we take a look at the higher time frames, I'm going to go ahead and turn on Ribbon 5. This is Market Cipher A right here. We can see that Ribbon 5, Market Cipher A is coming in right around 52K. Okay, right around 52K. This is the 21 EMA on the weekly time frame. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a line here, 21 EMA on the weekly time frame. We're just going to mark out these really important levels of support below us, just so that we can have a macro perspective of the markets here. Okay. Then we also have this very important weekly level right here. This weekly level is still a very important support. In fact, going all the way back to when we first started to lose this high up here, 66, I had a swing trade idea of basically longing from this weekly level down here. Okay, if we go to the Discord, and this is a long time ago. In fact, I remember when I posted this trade, I was actually waiting in the car dealership to get something fixed on my truck. Let's see, where was this? I'm never going to find it now. I'll never find it. But you guys probably are aware of the fact that I have been waiting for this exact support for a very long time, which is why I'm getting so bullish down here, right? This is why I'm getting so bullish down here. But okay, we'll never find it. Doesn't matter. The point is, this weekly level is a very important area of support. We already know not only is it the previous high that we would retest, but also is around this area where we're currently finding our current support is the 382 of the move. We also know on the daily time frame that we have a daily level coming in right here as well. Right here, we've got our daily right here. And not only do we have a daily there, but whoa, whoops, didn't mean to do that. I'm going to remove this 618 just for a second. We also have the channel, right? The channel that we've been looking at, that we've been trading in over here. If we take a look at the log scale, right? Let's see if I can, what is going on over here? Oh, I guess I don't have the channel turned on anymore. Hang on. I don't have it turned on anymore. But we've been following the channel with its bottom coming in right around this general area. Okay, if we just take a trend line and we take it from the bottom here and we connect it to right here, okay, then we extend it to the right, we can also see that we are very, very, very close to the bottom of this trend line as well. In fact, if we turn this thing on log scale and we just move this a little bit differently here, we can see that we're coming down very, 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 very close to this this trend line, right? And so there's so much confluence here. There's so much confluence here that this is such an important level of support. And when we look at the daily time frames on Market Cipher B, I see things looking very, very similarly to how they looked back at 40K. I can also see potentially that we are forming a clear hidden bullish divergence on the Market Cipher B, right? We have put in a higher low, but yet momentum has made a lower low. If we go to the 4-hour Market Cipher B, I mean, would anybody say that this looks overly bearish? I mean, I would say no. I would say that this looks more bullish than bearish, where we have momentum coming up, we have money flow coming up, as we're coming down to a key area of support. So these are the reasons why I've maintained my bullish sentiment through this time and have been comfortable adding low leverage positions to my trades, and have been buying on spot as well at this level. And honestly, I think this is a great place to buy on spot, because when you're buying on spot, it doesn't matter, you're not going to get liquidated. If we maintain a bullish sentiment for Bitcoin in the long term, then, which I absolutely do, by the way, I absolutely do believe we are going to see $100,000 Bitcoin. Whether or not it happens before the end of the year, I don't know. I know Evan Aldo, if any of you guys follow him, I had a conversation with him recently, and he thinks we might just consolidate for a lot longer than people are aware or expecting before we have a major move to the upside in the middle of next year. So there's a lot of things that could happen, guys. You know, throw into the mix now the alleged new you-know-what, guys. The vid, right? The coof, the phony-roni, or whatever you want to call it, right? Allegedly now, whether it's true or not, I have no idea. Nobody has any idea what's true or not when it comes to these matters, but I will say whatever is being reported on is causing things to happen in the world that were happening back in 2020 when we had a very drastic dump, right? Back in 2020, we had a very drastic dump. And it was surrounding news like this. Now, I usually am not one to say that news will cause the market to move, but a lot of times news can accentuate or magnify something that is already kind of happening, right? So right now, nobody would deny the fact that we are in a local downtrend from the all-time high. Okay, we're at support, but here's the thing: if we start to lose this support, if combined with things that would make people freak out and sell, stocks are crashing, everything's crashing, perhaps we could expect lower movements. Okay, so the first scenario that I'm really looking for is that we've put in our bottom, and this is the most bullish scenario right here. It's the most bullish scenario, and there's a few other things that I wanna just keep in mind here, because even if we start to lose this trend line, even if we come down to if we lose 50K, 49K is probably the lowest that I would want to come before I give up on this idea, and I'm going to tell you why. Let me zoom in a little bit here, and let's zoom out. If we pull a fib from this swing low down here to the all-time high, and we turn on our golden pocket, we've fallen through that golden pocket. Then we come down here. We can see that we do have a golden pocket right here coming in at about 52, right? Anywhere between 52.8 to 52.031. Which is right at that weekly 21 EMA. And then we could pull another fib from down here and see that we've got another golden pocket coming in. Sorry, not that one, but was it this one? Yeah, this one right here. We've got another golden pocket coming in right from the low of the last low, right around 50 to 49.8K. So one of the last hope for my current scenario here is I know so many people are waiting for us to retest this level here. And so what could happen is we come down and have this one last big old FOMO drop and hit our bottom around 49 to 50K, right? If we lose 49 and we start coming lower, I will officially give up on this idea and admit I am wrong. If we come down to 49K, I'll actually take a loss. The reason is because I can only come down to 51K and remain at break even. Because the thing is, I'm long from here. I've taken profits out here. I've been putting the profits back in as we come down here, which is taking my average entry price from down here and making it around this area. So right now, 51K is kind of the last place I could be to get out of here break even. So I am taking a risk here. It's a risk I'm willing to take because I think the probabilities are kind of high for a bullish scenario. Of course, none of this is financial advice, y'all. I'm just walking you through my personal thought process. Another reason why I am so bullish here is because if we go to the yearly volume, boom, we also have that low volume node coming in right here. Okay, the low volume node, if we go to the daily time frame, we can see that right in this general area, right where the 21 EMA is, okay, right where the golden pocket is, right where the weekly is, right where the daily is, right where the trend line is, we have this low volume node, which is basically defining for us a range, right? It's defining for us a range, a value area low of this range, right? If we look at the yearly volume, we can divide this into three main ranges. We have the old January range from 2021 down here, and then we revisited that range right here. You know, this wasn't much of a range. I would not call this a range at all, but we absolutely put in a range down here, right? Where we came to the low, to the high, and to the low again, and then obviously we broke out. And then up here is definitely a range, right? This was a range back in the spring where we pretty much did go between 50 and 60K. And so I'm looking at this as an area of support where we can probably expect support to hold. And honestly, right now, support is holding. Support is holding quite well. And as the support is holding, we're seeing the momentum continuing to come down on the daily market cipher B time frame, right? Notice that the daily market cipher B, the momentum wave has come down much, much lower. And I actually am very happy to see us come below that 60 line. A daily momentum wave below the 60 line is very, very juicy. The only thing that could make it juicier is if we get a big old BitBoy green dot, okay? A big old BitBoy green dot. But this to me looks like we're getting ready for a move to the upside when combined with the 4-hour time frame here. You know, we see bullish divergences like this entire way, right? We see bullish divergences this entire way. One more thing to keep in mind, guys, is, you know, back in the day, I made the post in the Discord and I basically laid out a case for 52K. I think it was a few weeks ago now. Let me see if I can even find it. You know, it's so funny. I post too much in here, guys. I just post too much. I post way too much. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever find it. Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, this was the case for 52K. I think. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, guys. But instead of trying to find old posts, let me just draw the TA on here. So we had the wedge, right? We had the rising wedge up here where we were clearly consolidating in this general area, squeezing in. And if we were to lose this wedge, right, I'm going to go ahead and take a trend line from, well, it depends on where we draw it from. Patterns are so speculative, guys, which is why we need to use them as confluence, and we can't just trade them alone. But, you know, if we take the breakout target of this wedge, right? If we took it from here to here, the breakout target is right around 50K. If we draw the pattern and we take the trend line from here to here, as some people would probably do, then we've got our target coming in right around 52K, right? So it's the target of the rising wedge. It is the a trend line that we've been respecting. It's a value area low of a macro range. We have multiple golden pockets here. We have the weekly 21 EMA here. We have a daily level. We have a 382 here. We have market cipher B giving us a hidden bullish divergence on the daily time frame. And we have regular bullish divergences with momentum and money flow on the 4-hour time frame. Okay? So for me, and this is just for me, guys, you know, I'm kind of expecting this support to hold. This is my current idea. Okay, this is my current idea. If we lose this support, then what are we looking at? Then what are we looking at? Well, I think we could come much lower. I think we could come all the way back down to potentially even the 42K area, right? If we lose the high 40s, I'm expecting the low 40s. If we lose the high 40s, I would expect a major sell-off. I would expect panic to ensue. I would expect price predictions back down to 20K. I would expect people to say the bull run is over. I would expect all these things. I would expect people to get super, super bearish. And when people get super, super bearish, that is when we need to get bullish. Honestly, that's when we need to get bullish, because there's always an opportunity when there is blood in the streets, as they say. There's always an opportunity to buy the low. And if we're buying on spot now, keep in mind, for me, when I'm buying Bitcoin on spot, which I do, I'm always dollar cost averaging in and out of Bitcoin. Always, always, always. Whenever we get a massive drop, I am buying some Bitcoin. And whenever we get a massive pump, I am selling some Bitcoin. That's just the way it is. I always sell at all-time highs. I always sell at all-time highs. That's just how I operate. And I recommend everybody do that too, because it will grow your HODL portfolio over time. And I always buy on dips. And the thing with hodling is you don't have to worry about getting a good entry because there's no liquidation price. You're just buying it on a discount compared to what it was last week or whatever, right? So if I buy here and we dip down more and I buy here and we dip down more and I buy here, well, you know, my average cost is probably somewhere around here. and then when we get the next pump, I have a pretty nice nice chunk of Bitcoin right there, right? But let's talk about some levels if we lose this support, right? Now this is strong support. So losing this strong support, I would expect much lower. Now, the first and most obvious place that we should be looking at if we lose the support is going to be the golden pocket retracement from right here, okay, to the all-time high, which is coming in right around 44, 43K, okay, 44, 43K. I'm going to remove the 382 right there. We also have to be aware of the fact that this is not the ultimate low. We have an even lower low right here. And if we pull a fib from the even lower low to this all-time high, we can see that we have, oh, whoops, that's not the lower low. Hang on, guys. Sometimes your boy Jason Casper flops and gropes when he's got the fib out, all right? Just gotta be patient here. Okay, there we go. That's the lower low. We have this zone of support here that's basically coming right down anywhere between 45 to the low 40s, right? We've got, if we put on the 0.65 like all the cool kids do, 42.4K. And this would really be something that would get people extremely bearish. I would really actually enjoy coming down here. If we do come down here, I will definitely be buying a lot of Bitcoin on spot for sure. Even if we dump further, which, I don't think we will. I personally do believe that, especially with all the things going on, guys, in the economy, in the world, that these crypto assets are going to pump. I think governments don't hate them as much as we like to think they do. But that's speculative and slightly political, so we're not going to go there. But personally, for me, this is a huge buy zone. Now, think about what this would do if we actually did come down to that area. I'm going to go to the daily time frame now and just kind of take a look here at this going on. Whoops, sorry. Now, let me see if I can remember what I had drawn. Yeah, it was something along these lines here, where, we do have this other trend line coming in from much lower, basically back September 2020, right before we had this major move to the upside. And we could see that, potentially we could come down and retest this trend line down here as well. This is on log, so let me put it on not log, because I'm pretty sure that's how I had drawn it before. That's how I had drawn it before on not log. Yeah, I had drawn something like this, and we can see, yeah, right around this general area, we'd be coming down near this trend line. I might have had it slightly different too, guys. Let me just see. I might have had it slightly different. I don't really remember now. But it is very interesting to see this trend line right here. Depending on how long it takes us to come down to that area, right? It might not happen overnight. If we just continue just to range and drop and get super bearish, we could come in, finding some confluence on that trend line. Now, here's something that is very important for me, right? If we do lose our current support, is that if we come down to this range of golden pockets here, okay, we will still be putting in a higher low. We will still be putting in a higher low from 40K. And so on a higher time frame market structure, we're not breaking market structure. If we come down all the way to the low 40s, unless we lose 39.5K, we are still in a bullish market structure here, and there's still technically now a higher low at crucial support. Now, are there levels in between our current support and this? Absolutely there are. Absolutely there are, and we need to be aware of them. But for as far as building swing positions, those are the two major areas. Okay, what are some areas that we do need to be aware of on the way down? Well, obviously, you know, we could, we need to be aware of the fact that as we're dropping down, we could swing failure this wick right here. We could even swing failure this right here. Okay, if we swing failure the 50.4K wick, we would land right into that golden pocket around 49, right? The high 40s for the bounce. This would be primarily something I'd be looking for. Now, if we come lower, if we lose this wick right here at the 46.9, well, potentially then we could come down right into these golden pockets. There's other levels too that I forgot to mention, guys. We do have the naked daily point of control at 51.3. We have the naked daily point of control at 49.8. And so, just quickly, let me go ahead and turn on the this group again. Okay, guys. So look at this, right? These golden pockets line up with these naked daily point of controls and the daily and the weekly and all this stuff. This to me is major support. Okay, so I still think that the highest probability thing to happen is either, the bottom is in here. If we're talking about building swing positions, low leverage, or buying on spot, I'm not talking about 50x leverage trades, right? This is not the environment to be 50x leverage longing, in my opinion, because the truth is we don't know where the bottom is, right? I'm not saying you cannot enter a high leverage trade. I've been entering high leverage trades because the thing is, each one of these supports on the way down could offer you an opportunity for a high leveraged trade, 100%, right? I've been high leverage trading these key areas of support, right? We came down to the 618, which is right here, and I entered a high leverage trade here. I've taken a few high leverage long trades here because if you have a specific level and you have confirmations, then go ahead, take a high leverage trade. But if we're building swing positions, especially in this environment, guys, I do not recommend any more than 5x, right? Because here's the thing. If we are expecting a potential drop, which I am, to the low 40s, then you got to make sure your liquidation price, right now I have my liquidation price, I've dropped my leverage so low here that my actual liquidation price is, it's like right around 40 something, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind as you are building these positions, if you're building them, right? None of this is financial advice, guys. None of this is. But for me, we've found our support. I would say that my plan, which I have, posted on Friday, is still kind of in play, which is this, the best case scenario is one more dump down to the low 50s and then the real pump. That could still totally happen if we come down again to this golden pocket / 21 weekly / naked daily in the low 50s, right? I mean, right down here, maybe even wick down to the this naked daily point of control at 49 before a real pump. This is something I'm still kind of waiting for and hoping for, and this is my current trading plan right now as far as swing longs go. If we lose this, guys, if we lose the high 40s, I'm gonna close out my position and I'm gonna try and wait for lower. I'm gonna try and wait now till we get down to 45-ish to 42. I think that's the next major area of support that we have. Now, of course, I could be wrong. All of this could be totally wrong. We can't deny the fact that we have strong support, at 48, right? So if we lose 49, then there's obviously levels on the way down. But for me, I would be looking for down here. That's my own personal feeling in the moment, right? In the moment. So I want to take a look at Ethereum, but before I do that, let me just see if there's any questions here in the Discord. Questions during live stream. Let me check it out. Not really. Okay, that's fine. Let's check out over here. So Cyrus Crypto is long. Yeah, guys, I'm long too. You know, I'm long too right now, right? I've been building longs, so. If we pump from here, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go, guys. If we pump from here. Yeah, yes, Desi, some more speculations and BS, which BS, if anybody doesn't know, is the acronym for bountiful silliness. Yeah, so you know, you gotta go with the bountiful silliness and the speculation when trading. And the reason is because you have to have a plan, right? So for me, plan A is just this, that we're at the bottom and we're not going to come much lower than 49K. Plan B is low 40s. Those are my two swing trading plans. And the reason why you have to speculate and come up with bountiful silliness is because if you don't speculate and if you don't basically imagine different scenarios playing out, then you'll be caught off guard if a certain scenario plays out, right? So for me, I've been so steadfast on my plan to long from here that if this doesn't play out, I don't want to be caught off guard. I don't want to be caught off guard because here's the thing. A lot of times, and you've probably noticed this yourself, you will have a certain market sentiment and you will remain bullish, let's say, during an entire downtrend, and finally you lose heart. You're like, that's it, I'm done. And as soon as you admit defeat, that's where price finds the reversal and pumps. And so in order to avoid getting yourself in that situation of utter defeat, you have to make sure that you have a plan that is different than your current one. Right? You have to have a plan different than your current plan. That's the only way I have found, at least in my experience, which is just my experience, right? Nothing else. To avoid not just getting wrecked, because there are ways to avoid getting wrecked even if you're wrong, right? Good risk management and stuff like that. But it avoids emotional burnout, I could say, right? Because you get to a point where you're so discouraged, you're like, that's it, I'm done with this. I'm not going to trade this. I'm going to put this on the shelf for a while. And as soon as you do that, that's where price has the reversal, right? So we need to speculate and have bountiful silliness because in my opinion, in my experience, the way I trade is most of it is speculation, right? Every single trade setup I give in the Discord is pure speculation where I'm saying, if this happens to happen, guys, I'm going to take a trade here, right? So all we're doing is saying, hey, if these things happen to happen, I'm looking to take a trade there. I'm looking to add to I'm looking to get into a swing long there, right? And what it does is it gives us a criteria, it gives us an algorithm, you could say, of certain things that have to be met before we enter in a trade. And you're going to be much better off than the guy flopping and groping, not knowing when to get in, not knowing when to get out, right? So, all right. I want to get into Ethereum, and I want to get into a little bit of Cardano. Now, ETH is looking much more bullish than Bitcoin. ETH is looking so much more bullish than Bitcoin. By the way, guys, Avalanche finding really nice support on the center point of the range of the channel. But this is not an Avalanche stream. Let's take a look at Ethereum here. Now, I do believe that ETH and Bitcoin will move together, okay? So here's the thing for ETH. I'm currently long because of the box, right? Because of the box. This is something we have been looking at for a long time on this channel here. And we've got the box right here holding support very well compared to Bitcoin. And if we go to the, let's turn on some Market Cipher A stuff here. Okay, we go to the weekly. This is, this is a little bit, when we look at Ethereum, the weekly 21 EMA doesn't come in until our lower support, right? These are the three major Ethereum supports. They have not changed at all since last week when we did the VIP stream. These supports have not changed. Really, if we start to lose 38, then I'm expecting 35, and if we lose that, I'm expecting 3,000. Right? These are the three major buy zones for Ethereum. So this, to me, lines up with basically my plan for Bitcoin, which is, if we start to see Ethereum losing this box, I'm expecting it to come down to, 3,500, 3,400 levels. And that's where I would expect to see Bitcoin coming down to the 40,000, 41, 42K levels, right? But if we can hold this support for Ethereum, I also believe that Bitcoin will hold the current support that we're at. All right, now Ethereum, it looks a lot more bullish here because of the fact that we basically done everything for Ethereum that we would have wanted to do for Bitcoin, right? We came down, we found perfect support right at the box, and then we came back up, and it is trading very technically, right? We had this old range here. We came above it, we came below it, perfect support right at our box, came to the high of the range, to the low of the range, to the high of the range, back to the low of the range, chickens drinking water, back into our box, and now getting another move to the upside. And during all this time as well, guys, we have been getting the bullish divergences on the 4-hour time frame. So I think Ethereum looks a little bit healthier than Bitcoin, but obviously they do play off each other. But if we look at the daily money flow for Ethereum, it's been getting thicker here. It's been getting thicker here. And yeah, we don't really have, we don't have a hidden bullish divergence on the daily time frame for Ethereum. But yeah, this one is a little bit more bullish looking to me. And I think that if we start to see we can look at Bitcoin and Ethereum together and see, if Ethereum loses this box, we can probably expect Bitcoin to come back down to the lower area of support, and same vice versa, right? If Bitcoin starts losing major support, we can expect Ethereum to also lose major support. That's kind of it, guys. Honestly, that's kind of it. For me, I'm still long on Ethereum from this box. I'm still long on Bitcoin from this general zone, right? I'm pretty sure I had a limit order set somewhere like 53 point something. I forget exactly. I've had some limit orders building down here, and I'm still holding those long positions. Let's see, are there any questions here? And if not, I'm going to cut the stream. I just didn't want to do this stream on a live YouTube video because, you can't share all the secret sauce to the public, guys. You can't do that. I'm not sure how to change the time frame in Market Cipher SR for more macro levels. I do not really use Market Cipher SR for anything other than the VWAP, to be honest with you. I don't really find it very useful, to be honest with you. I don't find it useful at all. Oh, one more thing, actually, while I'm here. Let me take a look at good old CryptoVac A. Shout out to Super Kitty. How's CryptoVac A looking, guys? Now, I will say this. CryptoVac A will give you the bottom, right? It will give you the bottom with a combination of green and white diamonds. And I would say we do not see any green and white diamonds here, guys. We do not. This level right here, 45, right, is our next major area of CryptoVac support. These green lines are very important supports. And so, it's possible, guys, if we lose support, that we come down to the CryptoVac area of support, get some green and white diamonds, and that's where we get our move to the upside. So let's go to the daily. You know, CryptoVac gave us our bottom signal right here. This is swing trading only, guys. This is not, you know, high leverage scalping. This is telling you where you can expect, where you can really start to be building positions on the daily. You know, on the 4 hour, we see the green and the white, but the lower time frame you get, the green and the white becomes less reliable, right? We had that right here, and we did get a move up, but then we came down again to get it again. So it's kind of giving me mixed signals here. But I would say, you know, yeah, I would say, yeah, 48.9, honestly, is the next green CryptoVac support. Just speculating, thinking out loud here, guys. Not really trying to give any kind of good information right here. I'm literally just looking at this for myself, going through the thought process here. If anyone wants to get the CryptoVac indicator, by the way, you can join Super Kitty's Discord. She is right here, Super Kitty. And tell her Jason Casper sent you over. She'll hook you up with a week free trial of it. It's basically Market Cipher, but it's a little bit different. So how do I confirm or know when to enter a swing failure pattern? The way I do it is basically Market Cipher B, right? Other people use different tools. For me, Market Cipher B. If we, for example, let's say, because right now, where's the place we could swing failure is going to be the low right here. And we did put in a double bottom here already with a bullish divergence, right? You consider that a bullish div. But let's say right here, or, you know, we could even do one right here. If you have a range, right? Just in general, a range, okay? And you come to the low of the range and you take out that previous low, and Market Cipher B is doing this, that's going to give you a move back to the high of the range most of the time. And the opposite is true. If you come to the high of the range and you take out a previous high, well, you know, Market Cipher B is giving you bearish divergences. You're probably going to come back in, right? It's basically swing failure, chickens drinking water is simply just a fake out, right? It's simply just a fake out. And there's a lot of ways to look for them. You could look for them in a local range, which is probably the easiest way to trade them. You could look for them in a macro range as well. You could look at the previous ranges. So, you know, that's one of the reasons why I'm saying, you know, 53.3. This is a potential chicken drinking water right here. We could come take out this low and then get a very quick buy up, because really what's happening is, you know, it's grabbing liquidity from people who are in positions from here, right? Who have stop loss at entry or whatever. Another place we could do that is right down here, around 50K, right? We have this wick, right? We could come down below it, and then get a quick buy up. It's not too difficult to trade, because the thing is, if you see the divergences and you see a very fast reaction, you can usually get some good profit out of that, even if you don't long the exact bottom or short the exact top. You're never going to long the exact bottom or short the exact top unless you have a limit order set there, and that's much more speculative, right? Personally, I do that sometimes because you can kind of tell if we're going to, like, you know, a good example would be the other night, I thought we were going to get a swing failure from here, and I had limits set below here because of the bullish divergences that were clearly forming on Market Cipher B. So you're basically thinking to yourself, you know, if we just drop down below this low, there's no way that we're not going to have a bullish divergence on the 1 hour, right? If we're looking at this as we're coming down, you're telling yourself there's no way we're not going to have a bullish divergence here. And we go ahead and put a vertical line here and take a look at previous, not previous, but lower time frames. And you're telling yourself, all right, you know, there's no way we're not going to get a bullish divergence on the 12-minute, right, as we're coming down here. You can already see it forming. You're like, there's not going to be enough time if price gets a drastic drop here for us to not print a bullish div. Money flow's coming up, momentum's coming up, perfect trade setup. You come to the 6-minute as well. right? What do we see on the 6 minute? Same exact thing. Money flow coming up, momentum coming up. If price made a lower low here, which it did not, unfortunately, perfect double bottom, you know, we would expect a some buy up, right? But yeah, that's how you identify. Does the weekly divergence bother me? Yeah, I mean, it bothers me, minefields, in the sense that, first of all, this could have already played out. We don't know. It could have more room to go. And if it does come down more, that's why I'm looking now to this area, right? If we lose our current support, I'm looking to this area. But we have to understand that this is not in a vacuum, right? This weekly bearish divergence of momentum and money flow, yes, it gives us the potential to come down much, much lower. But how do we know this isn't the bottom of the VWAP? How do we know we're not going to start to now do this, right? We don't know. We don't know. You know, last time we had a major drop, we printed a red dot on the weekly, and the low of the move, if you notice on the weekly, was when the VWAP was completely pointing down, no hope of it coming back up. That was the bottom, right? So yes, we could have come down more here, but we didn't. And you know, if we're looking now at the lower time frames to determine what's happening on the higher time frames, like the 2-day, for example, starting to bottom out, right? The 3-day starting to curve up on the VWAP. The 5-day starting to come back up a little bit, right? So we could kind of extrapolate and say, okay, potentially the weekly is going to start coming up. The daily, hidden bullish div. Yeah, 4-hour bullish divergences, money flow coming up on the 4-hour. By the way, guys, you know, if we do come down and take out this low here, I would probably be expecting chickens drinking water from down here too, honestly. I mean, if we just get a massive drop like to here, I would be expecting the chickens to drink from that area, especially if we're getting the bullish div on the 12-minute. Yeah. Yep. I mean, look at that, right? It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good for the chickens to drink here. It's looking pretty good. I have to be honest. Let's go to the 6-minute. It would look pretty good, you know. Got to be real. Got to be real with y'all. That would look pretty good. I mean, during this whole entire range, we see money flow coming up, momentum coming up. So, all right. Let's see. Do we got anything else here? Yeah, Daddy Turtle. That's interesting. 200 EMA on the daily. It's coming in right around that 49K area. Yeah, so there's a lot of confluence here, guys. There's a lot of confluence right here where you know, this could be the bottom, right? 49, high 40s. High 40s. So, we shall see. We shall see. Shout out to Andre Bravo. Shout out to J-Boy Bullish. Shout out to Lambo Rambo. And Dylan. That's interesting, Dylan. Yeah, I mean, if we hit a bottom, you know, absolutely we could reject off 64. We could reject off a lot of places. For sure. Am I building a bot? I'm working with people. We're getting some bots together, and the bots are going to, these bots are going to give trade signals based on my TA. So, you know, a lot of people can't watch the chart all day. Neither can I sometimes, right? Where if we have a level we're looking at, and like I say, like, all right, want to see divergences on 12-minute and down, you can set up the bot to only give the signal if the setup and all the criteria is met, right? Divergence at the level, send out the signal. Also another bot that will enter a trade automatically. You have to set it up though, right? You have to still do the TA and put in the work, but you tell the bot long here if X, Y, and Z is on the chart, right? Long here if there's a divergence, and then you could tell it take 25% profit after a 0.5% move. Move my stop loss to the entry. We're working on that kind of stuff. All right, it's gonna be dope, y'all. It's gonna be dope. Shalom to TJ. So the mini VPVRs Max Tiesto are called fixed range. They're over here. Prediction and measurement tools. Fixed range volume profile, and you just drag it from wherever you want to wherever you want. In this case, this point of control. Value area low, value area high. All right, guys, I'm going to cut the stream. God bless y'all. God bless in Jesus' name. Pray everyone's super blessed. And, yeah. Hope everyone has a good day. And, yep, still going to do a stream tomorrow, a VIP stream tomorrow, basically just to update the levels and stuff. But really, what I went through today is pretty much what I'm going to go through tomorrow.